All right, folks and fellow aviators, welcome again to AirJobBoss TV. If you feel like you need one-on-one personal interview preparation, I provide that. You can contact the link below at airjobboss.com and find out more. But before you order any of my services, I would appreciate you emailing me at info@airjobboss.com just to make sure that you and I understand what I provide, if I can help you, and do I have time in my schedule to do so. Otherwise, stay tuned to this channel. It has a lot of the theory and the philosophy I use to coach people in their job interview, so you can learn a lot from reviewing all this video content. So please subscribe. Today, we are going through a general topic, and this is very important for you as a prospective airline interview candidate to understand, and that is the three things that the company or a airline is looking for or trying to determine during an assessment process plus one. So it's 3 plus 1. Now let's go through this step by step. First, the application process. The application process is not what I'm talking about. The application process tries to determine whether you meet the minimum qualifications, for one thing. Number two, you do not have any negatives that would preclude you from employment. And number three, it allows them to select the people that they want to come in. So once you're called into an interview, you have passed that phase, and that's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about, what we're talking about during this video, is the three things plus one that they're trying to determine in the interview process. And here's the number one thing. Will you be able to pass training? So they're going to be asking you things like, tell me, do you have any check ride failures? Tell us about that. What do you consider the biggest challenge to joining an organization, right? Tell me about a time you've operated under stress. Tell me about a time you've had difficulty during training. Tell me about a time you've accomplished something you're proud of. These are really questions about how are you going to accomplish training. The training is one of the most difficult portions of being an airline pilot. This initial training, some people, we have a saying, you are fed through, you're given water from a fire hose. This is like, this is the amount of knowledge and the rate of knowledge at which you have to acquire to pass that training. They are very efficient, meaning they don't give you a lot of time. They don't give you a lot of time. They don't give you a lot of sim sessions, right? So you have to learn quickly. It's going to be stressful. You're going to have to obtain a lot of knowledge. You're going to have to work with your team members, right? Your class members. So this is one thing they want to answer. Will this person make it through training? And they have a high degree of attrition through training, so they're trying to select people that are emotionally durable, who can take a lot of stress, who can take a lot of challenge, and then they can overcome that. So when they're asking you about challenges, about stress, they're asking you about training. Will you be able to accomplish our training? So understanding what questions they're targeting, you can then formulate an answer that is associated with proving to them, yes, I have demonstrated in the past that I accept challenges, I work hard, I know how to study, I've accomplished courses of education, and I work well with other people as a group so that we'll all get through it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's number one. Number two, will you stay at the airline long enough for them to receive the benefit of hiring and training you? This is a balance, a cost basis process a balance that they go through, that they will be investing a certain amount of time and money in you, not only for the assessment process, but from the training and then from your salary. And they want to know, and if they bonus you at the beginning, right, they want to recover that through time. So it's only natural that they expect you to stay a reasonable amount of time. Now, at a major airline, this should be your final destination. So they want you from the time they hire you until retirement age, currently 65 in the United States, right? They don't want you coming here 4 years later deciding, I'd rather work for another airline, and then leaving for another airline, right? So they're going to ask you, why do you want to work for this airline? You know, what do you know about our airline? Do you know anybody who works for our airline? Do you have letters of recommendation? What do you know about our company culture, right? They want you to be a quote unquote company fit, corporate fit. They're going to ask you what base would you prefer? What kind of airplanes do you want to fly? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 15 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? So that is what they're trying to determine. Will you stay there, or are you going to, for example, if you are trying to achieve a job at FedEx, it is natural that you might be based in Memphis. This is really important, and commuting into Memphis would be more difficult. So if you live in Portland, Oregon, or Fort Lauderdale, or Dallas, or New York, it might not be the best fit for you. So if your address says something like Salt Lake City, really the best airline to work for is Delta. Naturally, they'll be thinking, if Delta was like, you were in a Delta interview, they would say, wow, yeah, they already live in Salt Lake City. This is kind of a junior base. This is a perfect fit, yeah? If you didn't, they would be like, oh, yeah, I don't know. They live quite far away and they maybe plan on commuting. This wouldn't be a good fit. The other airline would be a better fit. So maybe they're not as desirable as a candidate because they live so far away, right? So they want to know if you're going to stay the duration. The third thing they're looking for is, will you dutifully use your talents, skills, and experience to help accomplish the company's goals and missions based on their policies and procedures? Or will you come in dragging your feet, calling in sick, complaining about the crew meals, telling them their policies stink, describing how you used to fly the aircraft much better at another airline, and being generally a drag on their performance? They want to detect what kind of employee are you as far as working toward their goals, compliance with their policies. So they're going to ask you things like this. Again, why do you want to work here? The answer is you're the best airline in the world because your mission statement is so cool. I love it and I want to be a part of the mission. That's important. Or why would we hire you over other candidates? The reason why is because I understand your mission. I know what this company is trying to do. Your company says this: the world on time. Schedule is very important. You can't call in sick. You've got to be prepared. You've got to be ready to go. You got to show up early, and that's what it takes. And I know that that's what it takes to be there. And your company says that, and I believe in this mission. I believe my talents, skills, and character are a really good corporate match for you. They want to know that you're on board with the program, right? A good corporate fit, that you're not going to be a foot dragger. Half the employees at every airline are coming to work doing as little as they can in order to not get fired. And that's all that they're going to do. You don't want to be that kind of person. They don't want you, rather, to be that kind of a person. So they're asking you questions based on that. So, they're going to ask you, what would your current employer say about you? Well, you hope that you're going to answer, my current employer would say that I'm focused on the company's mission based on their policies, right? They're going to ask you this question: tell me about a time when you didn't like a company policy. So any person who's really vested in the interest of the company is going to express their dislike to a particular policy up the chain of command and provide solutions for management to employ as solutions so that the policy is changed in a positive way. Your participation in improving the company, not like, well, they didn't want me to, they wanted me to show up an hour and 45 minutes early. That's way too early. So I normally just show up an hour and 15. Or whatever it is. So that's these are questions that they're going to ask you about how you conduct yourself. What do you feel? And another thing is, they're going to say, what do you consider as a good captain? What do you consider as a good first officer? What do you consider as a good employee, right? What are your strengths as an employee? A good captain is one that uses his skills, talents, and experience to accomplish the company's flight missions, if you will. We're not a mission-oriented. We are safety-oriented and efficiency-oriented and customer service-oriented, but accomplish those missions, those company goals based on your policy and your culture. That's what a professional is. Whether you're an FO, whether you're a captain, whether you're a dispatcher, whether you're a gate agent, mechanic, even the person who services a lavatory. They're working in accordance to the policy of the company to further the company's mission. And it always is ended like this. If I work hard and use my talents, experience, and skills to accomplish the company's goals and missions, then the goals and missions of my work group are satisfied, and therefore my goals will be satisfied. And it's important that you understand that I know that that's the correct order of a professional aviator: company, work group, myself. I am successful when my team is successful, the management is successful when my team is successful, and the company is successful when the management is successful. And it goes in that order. Okay? So, now we'll go to +1. Your personality. They want to know, is this person somebody that I could sit in an airplane for 4 days and won't drive me crazy? Or I won't have to correct all the time, or they act a fool, or they make me look bad, or something. So the +1 is your personality. So as you're conducting yourself throughout the entire assessment, from the time you get on their airplane to travel to their headquarters, till the time you get off their airplane in your car, you are on interview. Your personality and the way you conduct yourself when you go to the gate agent: hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm traveling non-rev on your airline to an interview, and I just wanted to check in. Is this bad? That is an interview. Believe me, if you misbehave, they're going to know it. They know from the code on your ticket that you're non-rev, and they know where you're going, and they see you dressed like that. They know that you're going for an interview. If they don't like you, they're going to call. They're going to write a report. They're going to send an email or something like that. Your personality is on display. At the hotel, you may be staying at the hotel with the same people that are interviewing you, or that their corporate managers stay in temporarily as they go through recurrent training. And believe me, if you're down, running around, messing things up, making people angry, and looking generally bad on their company, they're going to remember that. They're going to record that, and that's going to report, and it's going to put right in your file. So your personality, how you interact with the candidates that are going to the interview with you. Are you helpful, or are you competitive against them? It's important that you're helpful, because these are going to be your future team members. Hopefully, you'll all get hired. There are you compete, but your competition is really already done mostly. Your experience, your talents, and your skill set is kind of already competing for you. And in most cases, in modern times, if you're called to the interview, they want to hire you. They want to hire all of you, especially in modern times, because they need qualified aviators. The way you help your fellow candidates through the assessment process, the way you treat the reception person, the way you eat your food, whether you help other people, you let them serve themselves first. If there's a volunteer position, and that day, if you want to volunteer, if there's something that needs to be done, like gathering chairs to bring in the conference room, are you one of the people that do so? So your personality, are you friendly? Do you listen well? Do you smile when it's appropriate? Do you act appropriately in social situations, and situations that obviously you're uncomfortable with? This is a test. They know you're uncomfortable. So how do people respond to stressful and uncomfortable situations? A lot of people airlines during interviews put you under stress. They make you uncomfortable to see how your personality reacts. So that +1 is really your personality. So let's review it, and we'll wrap it up. Number 1, will you be able to accomplish training? Are you capable? Have you demonstrated an ability, and can you articulate in the answers to our questions that you will survive, be durable, and help your fellow crew members survive training? Number 2, will you stay for the allotted period we expect? If it's a regional airline, they expect you to either continue and flow up to a major airline, or get a reasonable amount of experience, 2, 3, 4, 10 years, whatever they expect, that experience, and they understand you're going to move on. But will you stay for a reasonable amount of time? Number 3, will you come to work prepared to work toward the company goals and not your own? Or at least understand that those two things are essentially the same, but the company's goals must be prioritized because you're actually working for them. Otherwise, you can work for yourself or somebody else. And number 4, your personality. We're going to put you through a personality test and just see if we plain out like you. And honestly, at some airlines, your personality is more important than all those other three things, because they feel that with the right type of personality, we can encourage them to be a team player. We can show them how important our goals are and our mission are. We can help them through training. And once they get here, they will stay, because that their type of personality goes really well with our corporate culture, and they're a corporate fit. All right. That's a long one, but it's a very important one. So thank you so much for watching it all the way through, and subscribe. We'll get right to the next video as soon as we get it produced.